That was Chris.
Statistically speaking, that says more about you than it does about him.
What the fuck happened?
The most broken, sociopathic players I had ever laid eyes on. Less people than a loose collection of character defects.
Hello everyone, it is me, Game Penguin 21, and today, well, you saw the video, you saw the title, we're going to be doing a quick one today, and we're going to be doing it on a man by the name of Sneako. Now, this is one that I saw him post on his original and actual timeline, and stuff like that. So, he has apparently a podcast he does every, minute or something like that, and he was reacting to a Chris from mrbeast, who is apparently trans, and is apparently on HRT and has been for a couple months. I don't know how to feel about this personally, because I don't care, and nor do I watch mrbeast too much. But it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, oh, that's cool. And you scroll on by because you don't really care. But when you see someone else reacting to it in this light, I kind of have to make a video on it. At least to give my own opinions on it. And I don't see a lot of people talking about this because they're probably talking about other things. Now, let me be clear, and let me say this foremost as a disclaimer. Number one, I am not a political guy. I don't like to be political on this channel, especially when it comes to sensitive topics like this. I don't want to be political. I don't care enough to argue a lot of politics. It is my beliefs and my own opinions that I am going to be saying here, and I speak for no one else other than myself in this situation. Alright? Just because I'm talking about Sneako doesn't mean that I agree with Sneako purely for entertainment and for the purposes of, well, talking about a sensitive topic. This will be the first and last time that I say this, hopefully on this channel, but I don't want to have to cover something like this again, especially involving Sneako, because he's probably going to see this and be like, oh, this man is a brainwashed liberal simtard. Like, no, I'm not. I don't have an agenda here that I'm pushing. I just want to talk about this because it's interesting. Anyway, with that whole big disclaimer and stuff out of the way, let's get into this.
Chris from mrbeast. So people saw this picture. You can see him in the replies. mrbeast is backing this up. He's like, opinion irrelevant ratio. Here's what the ratio. The Chris I know was like a truck driving, AK-47 shooting, Call of Duty playing, dip chewing. Yep. That was the Chris I knew. You didn't say that. You didn't say the part where it's gonna get you canceled. But that was the Chris.
I mean, did you know him personally? I don't know. I'm fairly certain Sneako used to work with mrbeast. I don't remember the specifics of it. I think he did back in the day. And someone can present one way publicly, but also present a different way negatively, privately in a different way. I don't think that really says a lot about Chris the way that you knew him. And I think that we're gonna let it play out a little bit more before I get the actual full-on point out here. Let's go.
Chris I knew was, woo, Trump! What's up with all these trannies? Chris, he had a southern accent. He was driving monster trucks, and he helped me shoot my first AK-47. And he was chewing dip, and he was smoking Marlboro Reds. He had just bought a big truck with all the mrbeast money. That was Chris.
Statistically speaking, that says more about you than it does about him.
What the fuck happened? The people that are encouraging this, they think that they're doing the right thing. They're all brainwashed. Even mrbeast thinks that he's doing the right thing by supporting his friend Chris. Brainwashed. If you really cared, you would not encourage his delusion now. You would look at the long term and see that this is something that he's doing because he is brainwashed by social media, because he's living in the West where this is pushed by a bunch of garbage. If you were really his friend, right?
You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my vote.
I think that's a little bit of projection, at least kind of. I mean, yeah, certainly Sneako doesn't think of himself as trans, but in this context, I wouldn't say that he's in the closet or anything like that. If you know the whole thing with Sneako and everything that's been happening with him, this should not surprise you. This man has been doing YouTube for a lot of his life now. He started, I think, when he was 19. He has grown super, super huge, and right now, he sounds like a discount Andrew Tate. Like, I am just imagining the whole like meme of, Mom, can we get Andrew Tate? No, son, we have Andrew Tate at home. Andrew Tate at home. Yeah. I can't agree with this in any good conscience, because even if I try to make sense of this, which I am baffled for words on how someone can think about this, to say that this is like a delusion kind of again says more about you than it does about the person you're talking about. Saying that they have deluded themselves into believing X says more about the person you than it does about the person them. Seriously, just because, like, and that's not to say that every, like, crazy person out there is like, oh, that means that I'm not crazy and everyone else is crazy. Like, no. Statistically speaking, if you feel that you are the only person who is correct, but everyone else that you feel is wrong, that might, you know, you might need to just take your opinion and try to change it, or at least not hold the opinion so close to define it as what you believe it as. It's, to me, just dumb, stupid, and quite honestly, yeah. Also, he has a Rumble tag above his head. Now, I had problems with Rumble, and I still do have problems with Rumble, but we can get into that in a little bit. As of right now, I don't agree at all with him saying, like, you shouldn't support someone if they feel that they are now a woman or something like that. You should 100% support someone if they feel that they are different than the average person, and you should maybe help them in any way that you see fit. Like, full stop.
Right now, you would hear what I'm saying, because someone's going to clip this and send it to him. You would tell him you've made the wrong decision. Transgenderism is a legitimate mental illness. Believing that you're something that you're not. You say anorexia is a mental illness, and it's believing that you're a different body weight. How is it not a mental illness to think that you're a different gender? Multiple personality disorder, there's they, thems. I believe I'm two genders at the same time, mental illness. We need to start saying that. People who know the truth know that, but they don't want to face the scrutiny of everybody saying, but that's transphobic! Fine. I have a phobia of my son growing up with two mommies and one half mommy thing running around. I think you should be scared of that.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack. He said that transgenderism is a mental illness. And to be clear, mental illness itself has been a hot button topic for a long time, ever since we figured out about it. It is hard to classify what the heck's going on in your brain, because it's one brain trying to understand a completely different brain with a completely different chemical composition and a completely different amount of chemicals and synapses and shit going through there. It's hard to quantify and to classify a lot of things, and it's dumb. It's dumb to be comparing things such as PTSD, to be comparing things such as PTSD, transgenderism, and multiple personality disorder, and they, thems, and all that other stuff. It's not the same classification. They're all can be, medically speaking, purely medically speaking, they all can be classified as that. Can. And I'm not saying that they all are. Like, if you take the purest form of what a mental illness is, i.e., I'm going to take, like, just a random definition. I don't think this is the official one, but a random definition that he might think of is a mental illness is anything differentiating from the normal way that a person thinks. That's super broad, because your normal can be someone else's weird, and someone else's weird can be their normal, and their normal can be your weird. It is all over the place of where someone's normal can be someone's weird, and someone's weird can be someone's normal. It's too broad to say that. And to me, I can say that you should just treat them as a human. Like, full stop, treat the person the way that they feel that they want to be treated. Certainly, there are a lot of problems in the world, 100%. There are a lot of people out there who are saying, oh, we're emasculating our men, we're doing this, we're doing that. They were cross-dressing way before us in this current day and age. I mean, have you even heard of, like, a freaking, the freaking, like, underground everything where people were different? The whole The whole movie with Robin Williams, where he ran a like gay bar or something like that, or like a drag show, any drag show, fucking the Trevor Project. I've been recently watching fucking, you know what I mean. There's a lot of things out there that you can point to and say like, oh, this is representation of this or that. Whatever. Not the point. The point is, my big point is, just treat a person the way you want to be treated. Don't treat them as if what they're doing is wrong, because there is no right answer. Like, full stop. There is no correct answer to the way that you should live your life. You should just live your life the way you want to do it. And if it's not affecting anyone else in a negative way, what the fuck does it have to do with you? Like, seriously, what does it have to do with you if that's the case? Why? Like, that's a big question, where people are just like, oh, it affects me negatively because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Well, it makes the other person feel uncomfortable to not be treated with respect. It's like going to a concert and then jumping up on stage to shake hands with the main guy and thinking that you have the right to do so because you paid for a ticket, when there are like 3,000 to 4,000 other fucking people in the venue that also paid for a ticket that didn't need to do that or didn't want to see your ass up on stage. I don't know, Chief. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's gross. It's just no. Just fucking no. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for this video. Again, another quick one today because, honestly, I didn't have anything big planned for this, and I don't want to have to address Sneako again, and quite honestly, don't check out his Rumble because I looked into Rumble. You have to give away the rights to your shit in order to, like, have them post it to Rumble. In order to post it to Rumble, it's like, oh, they're gonna give you the rights to it, and yeah, it's cool, it's nice, but they still use YouTube. Rumble still technically uses YouTube for it, so I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't know. I'd like to do Rumble to get money out of this stuff, but I don't want to sign away the rights to my everything. So I don't know. Anyway, my name is GamePenguin21. Sneako, what the fuck is going on with you right now, dude? Please just learn to not be this way, at least a little bit. And a peace.